A man came to my village on a night with no moon. He gave me this amulet. He did not give me his face. For 66 years, I thought he had come to save us. I thought the amulet was a gift. I was wrong about every part of that sentence. My name is Ratni. I was born before the Great Famine of 1899. I am 81. I have worn this amulet under my clothes since I was 15. I am taking it off for the first time tonight. This is File Witness E008. I was born in the Aravalli Hills, a day's walk south of Udaipur. My people were Bhils. Our land had been our land longer than any king's memory. And then it was not. In 1878, the British wrote the Indian Forest Act. After that, the trees we had used for 1,000 years belonged to the English crown. The mahua, the teak, the honey. All of it was now theft. Our king owed the British for his throne, and enforced their law on his own people. In the summer of 1899, the rain did not come. By July, the children had stopped crying. There was not enough water in them to cry. History called that year Chapaniya Kal. We called it the year the crows grew fat. I was 15. My mother was 33. My two brothers were 8 and 5. We were hungry, but we were still alive. Our name was still on the village roll. I did not know, then, that our names had already become a list. 3 years before that night, I walked to the old well at the forest edge. I was 12. A man was sitting on the low wall. I had never seen him. Khaki uniform. A rifle against the stone. A horse tied behind him. When he saw me, he did not stand. He did not reach for the rifle. He only said, in Hindi with a Rajput accent, "I have not seen you here before." I said, "I have always been here." He said, "Then I have not been looking." He gave me a handful of dates from his pocket. I had not eaten dates in 6 months. I did not tell my mother. That was the first time. There were many times after that. Once in a season. Never at the same hour. Never by the same path. He would ask me small things. The names of my brothers. The songs my mother sang. He told me his name was Bhairav, a forest guard for the Muir state. He did not tell me what a forest guard did. I did not ask. He never asked where my village lay on the British map. I thought that was a kindness. I understand now it was something else. He never entered the village. Not once. Not in 3 years. The first time he crossed that line was on the night with no moon. In June of 1899, he came to the well in a way I had not seen. Quickly. Without his horse. Without the rifle. He put something heavy into my hand and closed my fingers over it. A silver amulet on a dark cord. Rajput work. Keep this under your clothes, he said. If I come to your village gate on a night with no moon, do not look at my face. Come with me, and do not speak. He turned back into the forest. I did not see him again at the well. 2 weeks later, on the first new moon night of July, I heard horses. The amulet was already under my tunic. There were voices at the village gate. Then there were no voices. Then a scream from my aunt's house. Then another. Then a sound that was not a scream. Someone knocked on our back door. Not the front. One palm, flat against the wood. I opened it. His face was covered below the eyes. He took my wrist. We went out through the goat shed, past the water trough, onto my grandmother's old path to the cave behind the hill. At the cave mouth he turned me by the shoulders and pointed me into the dark. Then he let go of my wrist. Then he went back. I stayed until sunrise. I walked home. My mother was dead. Arav, 8, was dead. Dilip, 5, was dead. 11 neighbors were dead. Everyone shared my grandmother's blood. Bhairav was gone. For 66 years, I believed he had died trying to save us all. In January of 1965, my granddaughter Lakshmi took a train to Udaipur. She was 25, working with the Bhils Oral History Project. She told me she was going to read, for 18 months, every British paper the archive would show a tribal woman. She did not tell me why. She found them in pieces. In different rooms. In different years. No single file told the story. But the outline was visible across many. Across the Rajasthan archives and the India office records, the same outline appears again and again. Tribal lineages flagged. Forest policy used as cover. Operations timed for nights with no moon. The evidence does not prove a single directive. It suggests something harder to name. That the boundary between forest policing and lineage clearance was drawn by the men who crossed it. That the hand that patrolled the forest and the hand that came to the village gate were often the same hand. The old text said the Rakshasa did not arrive as itself. It took the shape the hour required. It lived in the house next door. What made that year unbearable was not that monsters had come from the forest. It was that the men in forest uniform had been our neighbors for 50 years. The Rakshasa had a sanctioned salary. It wore khaki. It wrote its kills down as policy. I did not die that summer. I could not tell you why. The village emptied within a year. My mother's sister took me to a town a day east. She was kind. She was afraid of something she would not name. She told me only once. Do not speak of that night. Not to anyone. Not ever. I did not speak of it. I did not marry. I did not put the amulet in a drawer. I wore it against my skin, every day, for 66 years. In 1907, the Bhils of Banswara rose against the British. They were put down. In 1922, they rose again under Governjiri. They were put down. In 1947, the British left. In 1950, the Republic was signed. My people became citizens of a country that had a name for us. I did not speak. Every year, on the first new moon night of July, I walked to the hill behind the town and sat at the mouth of a cave that was not mine. I prayed for the man who had saved me. I did not know, then, that I was praying for the wrong thing. Lakshmi found 4 documents in 18 months of searching. Each alone could have meant many things. Laid together, they pointed at one man. 1. A quarterly report filed in 1900 by Captain Edward Blackwood, forest officer, to the Muir Residency. The entry for the 4th of July, 1899, is 6 lines. Reserved Forest Integrity Operation executed. 14 disaffected persons removed. Local superstition consulted for concealment. No survivors noted. 2. A Muir personnel record, dated 12 July 1899. Forest Guard Bhairav Rathore. Deceased on duty. Cause, insubordination during field operation. Body not recovered. 3. A letter from 1923. A retired guard writes to his nephew about a great-uncle. Do not ask about Bhairav. We were told a Rakshasa took him. The men who told us had fresh blood under their nails. 4. A tape recording from 1960, 2 valleys from where my mother is buried. An old Bhils woman says one sentence that was never supposed to leave her village. That night, behind the cave, there were two cries. One was a girl. The other was a man. Lakshmi brought all four to me on a Tuesday morning. She set them on the low table in the order she had found them, and left the room. I read them twice. The second time was slower. Then I understood what the amulet had been. Bhairav had been one of the 4 forest guards that night. Before he was the man at our back door, he was the man carrying the list. For 3 years at the well, every season, he had known my mother's name. He had known my brothers' names. He had not asked which page they were on, because he already knew. In Rajput tradition, a family amulet is not a love token. A son gives his family amulet to the earth when he has stepped out of his lineage and is not coming back. He was not telling me he loved me. He was telling me he had already chosen. He was not a stranger who saved me. He was one of the men who came to kill my family. He was the one who, in a single night, stopped being what he had been. I gave the amulet to Lakshmi the next morning. I told her, "Take it. This is not a gift. This is what a man leaves behind when he cannot return to his own name." File witness E008 remains open. The amulet has been documented. The operations order has not been recovered. In the old texts, a Rakshasa takes the shape it needs. This file records one instance in which a shape, for a single night, refused to be taken.